If you want to get ahead of 99% of growth operators, realize to be in that top 1%, by definition, you have to do what the 99% won't. And I know this because here's me, October 2023, a broke college student, lost with what to do in life. And just 11 months later, here's me, August 2024, where I scaled to $113,000, growth operating for our creators and myself. And here's Rojal, our founder, who we took from $13,000 in debt to a $30,000 launch in just 7 days. Here's Heron, who we helped sign a $5,000 setup fee with his creator client. And here's literally thousands of case studies that I helped join me in the top 1%. So today, with the NTPMA Framework to decimate your growth operator competition, a specific way to optimize your Instagram profile to get instant replies from creators, the best outreach funnel that's working right now, and a full plan to launch your creator in just 5 damn days. With all that, I'm going to bring you as well to the top 1%. So let's begin with remembering that
you need to be doing revenue generating activities. I don't care what it is, you have to make money. That's what it comes down to. Okay, it's acquisition, it's fucking money. Get the money in the door to see proof of this business model working so that you guys do not lack doubt and have, sort of Heron's friends, hitting you like Heron had that situation where they're all like attacking upon him. Hey, what are you doing? Like, you should be going to your freaking doctor job, whatever, right? And he made the money, and then now Heron's like, okay, I'm set. Like, this actually makes sense to me. He went to that restaurant after to celebrate with Edna, and he's like, okay, I'm good. Don't worry, Heron. I heard those stories from Will, right? And so when you when you make the money and the revenue finally, then this starts to click in your mind. Like, I don't think you guys understand how fucking important this is, because this is one of the biggest things even in our company right now that we're sort of forgetting to a certain extent, which I think led us to a bit distraction this month. But it's fine, because this now gives me a lot of conviction to tell it to you guys, which is the goal. What is the goal and what are we tracking? And I'll just tell you this sort of month, what happened, right? For us, we were not very set on a proper goal with Operator Incubator, right? One of the goals that we set was to hit a 100K a month cash collected with Operator Incubator. Right. And the thing that happened was we weren't metrically tracking hey, step by step, what exactly it takes to get to that goal. And therefore, what happened was, it wasn't exactly achieved. And so now this month, we're not going to hit it, which is totally fine. But we learned a lesson, which is that we weren't very clear on what exactly were not just the goal, but also the little micro components that lead up to the success of the goal. And for you guys have to very clearly recognize that it's revenue right now. Make the fucking money. I don't care what you guys are building. I don't care what gets you excited, whatever. It's right now the focus is money. So think for what will generate the revenue. And so if that is true, then basically for you guys right now, it's outreach. That's it. It's just go and outreach and keep doing it. And to then tie this to the 1% portion, if you just don't, really think about it. The other, 98 or 99% of growth operators, they're not outreaching. And so in order to compete against them, you have to defeat them with actually doing the outreach. I'll tell you this portion here. The thing is, I think it's going to be really, really important for you to really shift how you see competition, because I see a lot of what's going on right now, which is, of course, yes, the wins that we see, but for those of you guys who are new, A, or B, for those of you guys who are not seeing the success, I want you guys to be the ones that Will says, hey, you guys won this week. You freaking had that dub, talk about it in the community, right? I want this for you guys. But this is not going to happen if you guys are down in the trenches. And what I mean by down in the trenches is sort of this graph of, hey, I'm excited about growth operating, and then I fall into this pit of despair, and this is where you guys may be at. Right now, sort of, Heron is seeing that first bit of success until he's starting to go up. And then Harshit is starting to see that first bit of success and you guys are starting to go up. But for those of you guys who are here, who are the ones who are going to be upset and sad, and really start doubting the model, which the freaking model's cracked, let me tell you that. And so then this is where these doubts start coming in, and this is where this sort of paradigm shift becomes super duper powerful about, well, what is competition and how to really see this? Because it's how you see something that makes all the difference. It's not how you do it, right? And so let me shift your perception on this. Competition is like this. You guys may say, oh my God, guys, there's so many growth operators. I'm not in the top 1%. There's all this 99%. There is all these growth operators right now. And so my brother right now, he freaking dropped out of high school. Okay, I made him drop out of high school, and I'm having him crank out growth operating so that A, he comes to New York with us, B, so then afterwards he comes to South America with us to stay in a sort of mansion that we're gonna be like just grinding in our entire operating computer team to freaking scale this company to the moon and get you guys the most incredible results, right? And so when that happens, my brother has had this doubt a few days ago, okay? So he was basically seeing the growth operator market. He's like, inside the incubator, we were telling people to do the physical service niche. And he was in the clothing brand niche. And I'll tell you something about my brother, okay? So this guy is really, really smart, and he is a really, really hard worker. But even someone like him, it felt like this shit caught him, right? And so for you, who's also smart and who is also a hard worker, don't you think this will catch you as well? Right? And so I'll tell you like his little quick backstory. Basically, when I was doing sneaker reselling back then, he also kind of followed suit and we did it together, right? When I was also doing like drop shipping, he kind of did like a parallel thing, which was clothing brand, right? And so he actually did a clothing brand, like he made TikToks, right? He studied on how to build a website. He studied about like the different conversions. He understood like really the clothing brand space. Okay. And so now as he's going into growth operating, because obviously this is the freaking best business model right now, he is putting all his energy into here. And so he was therefore like obviously very clear, right? Trying to growth operate in the clothing brand niche. But then he saw like, oh, Caprice, Brez, right? Oh, Brez, all these people are already, killing it with offers. And so he's saying like, oh my God, this place is saturated. There's so many growth operators already outreaching to the clothing brand space because it's so saturated. Oh my God, so saturated, right? But like, I want to break this belief of saturation to you. Growth operator is what's called a label. Okay, and I'm gonna explain to you guys this concept of labels. Label is basically a concept from grammar. That's the discipline, the first principle, where it comes from. And basically labels are like this. So you're gay, you're straight, God bless my writing. You're gay, you're straight, you are, liberal, conservative, as this crazy sort of elections going on. You are in, I don't know, blank. Oh my gosh, you're a Christian, you're a Satanist. Like there are all these labels that exist in the world. And here's how to catch these labels, ready? Listen when people say, I'm this, I'm that. And it's literally in there. I identify as gay. Like this one's crazy when people say that. I mean, not the concept of gay, I don't really care either way. But I'm talking about the concept of just saying I identify as something. Because this is the most powerful thing. This is how you psyop people. This is how you freaking destroy people's minds. So cult leaders, they do this. They call you a certain name, like a certain label. And then they start attaching things to the label. Remember that concept of branding that I taught you last time, where you associate positive or negative things to something, and then it starts becoming tangible and real, or whatever it means to you in your life. And so then when something like this occurs, this is when you can then psyop people. You can really control people because you're this sort of name. And so growth operator is that sort of name too, and that sort of label. But the thing is, people think that growth operators in this sort of microcosm that they're in, is just this one thing. And so if X amount of people are outreaching to this niche, then that means, or X amount of growth operators, quote, growth operators, that are outreaching to this niche, then they're screwed, okay? And ready, let me teach you all the different ways that you can desaturate, and like I think teaching it will then break this belief for you, which is this. Leave, exit, and say, well, what is growth operating fundamentally from first principles? Well, it is really just an agency. Well, what is an agency? Agency, and I'll give you like a tactical way that I do this, which is I look up the word. I look up the word, and the definition usually goes and breaks the word down really well. A business or organization established to provide a particular service, typically one that involves organizing transactions between two parties. Okay, great. So business, we're seeing business here, and service. Okay, so service, business. Well, first principles, fundamentally business. Well, what is a business? Okay, I guess we'll just pop it there. Business. Actually, no, we can break it further. What is business? MSFO, right? Marketing, sales, fulfillment, operations. What are these different things? And then you can break it down even more, right? But we'll just bring it to this level. When you break it down to this level, what happens is this. Look, ready? Is this the same? Like, let's look at what, and also like another one that I do is like MMSO, which is like MMSFO, which is the marketplace. And the marketplace I break down to NTPMA, which is.
Speaking of NTPMA, if you want to make a $5,000 setup fee like Herod, or have a $30,000 launch like Rojal did, The NTPMA concept, along with tons of other concepts, are required to learn. So the first link in the description will take you to my free school community, where my team will give you a free one-on-one advisory call to give you an exact roadmap on how you can get started and scale to 10K per month with growth operating. So I'll see you in that free school community down below.
The niche, this is what makes the market. The niche, the transformation. And by the way, I don't think I ever talked about this one in this much detail, so you guys should be like really writing this down. Price, mechanism, and access channel. This is what makes it a marketplace. Like this is that thing that's not gonna click right now, but when you start like using this, you're gonna be like, holy fucking shit. Oh my God, what was Tim saying here? Like that makes so much sense. So anyway, like I'll just pop that there, right? But like, let's break this down even further. All right, so we got MMSFO. All of these differ. So let's look at, I'll now like make this tangible for you guys so that you guys can really understand this. Heron in the med spa niche. Okay, we got Harshit in the clothing brand. No, it's brand scaling, clothing brand scaling niche. We have Rojal in the travel niche. Nicholas in the nail tech niche. Of course, the transformation from broke to rich, that's the same. Pricing, here's where it also differs. Hey, I'm a growth operator that offers no upfront price, and then I'll take only 30% after we close. So revenue share. Great, you're different already versus some other growth operators that are asking for cash upfront and then also 30% revenue share. So that's desaturated. Mechanism, I guess sales process is one way people do it. But guess what? Here's where it differs too. Look, so with med spa right now, let's also do Laurent. Heron did it from free to high ticket, and he's offering basically the sales process here. Travel niche, he went from, so he did a masterclass funnel into also a high ticket, but slightly separate. This is in a different niche in 3K. And then over here, I want to make these points. With the clothing brand scaling, right now, Harshit is even focusing on the content side. So it's almost like a content offer, content growth operator. And also in the nail tech, right now, Niche is really focusing in on the DM setting process and then the closing for his creator, right? And so what we see here is like also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different ways that have differed in what you offer. And then the access channel. Access channel is basically like where the leads come from. So that's LinkedIn for Laurent tech niche. Of course, Instagram, the most popular one. But then here with the clothing brand creator, they have YouTube. So these also differ, right? Then inside the marketing, well, how you service deliver inside the marketing. Do you focus on Instagram for your creator? Do you focus on YouTube for your creator? Do you focus on school? Do you focus on Discord? Do you focus on whatever? And then that goes up and up and up into the sales process too. Hey, do you focus on just managing the setting process? Do you focus on just managing the sales process? What do you exactly focus on as the growth operator? Then in the fulfillment, I guess growth operator, you don't touch about that too much. The creators focus on creating the course, and then the operations, all the different components there. Like growth operators, fundamentally, you have to understand like point 1, it's just a label. It's fake. It doesn't exist. Number 2, if it doesn't exist, then you can position yourself in a different way to fundamentally still offer the same thing. However, differ it in a way where the creator at the front end perceive it as something different. That's what I mean. And then from there, point 3, that allows you to not be saturated and not be like these guys and not be clapped because all of these kids are just reaching out to the clothing brand creators or whatever sort of niche that you guys are reaching out to. And you're like, oh my gosh, the niche is saturated. You never fucking blame the niche, G. It's you and your outreach method and how you sort of desaturate through all these different tactics about saying, hey, this is a specific problem that you have, and hey, how do I go and solve it exactly for you? Once again, just to repeat this, write this freaking down. No niche is unsaturated. You just don't know how to desaturate. And there's like a fat list of ways that you can desaturate. I just gave you a few, and there's a lot more in the outreach. And one other just like tactical really takeaway here, you could do these really sort of tactical ways to desaturate as you are outreaching, but simultaneously another great way to just kill it on top of including these components here, going to a creator that is at the level that you are. This is exactly what Rojal did to succeed. This is what Harshit did to succeed. This is also what Heron did, very weirdly, right? Because Heron was in the medical space. He already understood. He could like speak the language of this other med spa individual. And so therefore they connected. If, like Sean, I mean, not to say Sean is 16, right? If he goes to a med spa lady, it's going to be tough for her to be like, oh, do I really trust this guy? Versus when Heron went there, or even me, like me at 19. I wouldn't be able to rizz her up as well as Heron was able to, because he was able to freaking kill it with his medical background, right? So I'd say that's one component there. And even Rojal versus like them, they were at in the medical space, and they can articulate on the same sort of level. Versus like Rojal, I remember in the podcast he was talking about it. I remember you said this really great line. It was like, oh, I wasn't that rich either, and therefore, like I thought that the travel creator who wasn't that rich either would be able to relate at that level. But then now you guys are both rich together, right? So basically what Rojal was able to do was he launched his creator to $30,000, right? And $24,000 cash collected, but like 30K revenue, guys. And they're like scaling more and more and more, right? And when he was outreaching, I asked him like, hey, why did you not outreach to the make money online space? Why did you not reach out to people like drop shippers, like clothing brand owners, or like agency owners, whatever? And Rojal was like, okay, I wasn't that rich either back then. And so it wouldn't make sense for me to outreach to them and be like, hey, can I help you make money if I can't make money either? And I see a lot of growth operators, and I don't think you guys are doing in this community, hopefully not, but maybe some of you guys are right now, especially the ones that may watch this panel recording after the take back. And when you sort of don't have that cash, like you have to be on that sort of relatable level, be able to sort of talk to somebody that you can relate, and therefore that leads to the close better. Even with my brother in the clothing brand niche, he speaks their language, and therefore he can go and approach them very easily and nicely. Also, just like quick tactical bullet points here that I would say is, I would really say, guys, go for just a percentage cut in the beginning and barely any setup fee. That's what I'll go for. Of course, Heron was able to succeed because obviously, like if she's a med spa owner, then like she's stacked with cash. But so like 5K wasn't that much. But I'm talking more so about you guys who are kind of like working with more broker creators. Don't really go so much for the setup fee is what we see working better. Just go for the percentage. Even with Rojal, he was able to do that. And fundamentally though, it was because he really put the work in that led to the trust being built up there. And if you are going to be asking for a setup fee, then really like remember what the goal is. Is the setup fee to make a lot of cash in the beginning, or is it just to get the creator in the door so then you can really show them that you can make the money? Because as a growth operator, like you really freaking can. This is the really big difference with a growth operator versus like a normal agency. Like, you can actually freaking service deliver incredibly. And so then just take like $100, like $200, or even the $500 that will take you to WAP with us in person in New York. Quick shielder. Anyway, yeah, and so just like sort of only ask for this sort of portion. Stop looking for the instant cash in the beginning. That's another point that I'll say. After establishing this sort of, because this goes into pricing, I want to establish pricing for you guys. I wanted to establish sort of, this is really saturation and just how to pick your niche, just like the perception of niche and how to really see this, okay? And now I want this to tie into the main thing here about that follow-up outreach sequence that I'm seeing going. Okay, so a few pointers that I want really you guys to remember is profile optimizations, but to like what extent? Yes, optimize your profile, but to what extent? And I want to do like a literal live breakdown, a profile that has worked in the outreach space. And for those of you guys who already have signed a creator, this is still important because you better freaking listen up. The personal branding is, obviously one of the biggest things. And so me being someone who's quite an expert at this, I'll tell you right now. So this is Rojal's main account that he did not sign his creator with. With the 2,000 follower account, he didn't sign a creator. Even as a creator, I'll tell you now, getting thousands and thousands of outreaches a day right now. Okay, especially because I launched my campaign on trying to hire my editor. Like this is my freaking inbox right now. This is my inbox. It's just stacked and stacked and stacked of people begging to work for me. And I'll show you my emails too right now. It's stacked. It's crazy. Like this is an outreach video editor. There's a WAP thing. Video editor, 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 thumbnail designer, video editor. Like this shit just doesn't stop. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so I'll tell you though, what makes me look? What actually makes me look? And this will really give you a different perspective for you guys because you guys are not on the creator end versus I am. All right. So like it doesn't have many followers. This doesn't matter. Number one point that I do look at though is the sort of legitimacy of the name. Here's why. Like I would actually respond to this. Why? It's Rojal's actual name, right? Rojal Fresta, Rojal like this. And also like no dots, no numbers. I look at that. Why? Just like these little micro things. Because if there's a number, I usually know, like I know how outreach works. And the creators that are smart and that have a lot of money, they know as well because they're business people. And so how outreach works is usually someone has their profile and they have like a multiple other different profiles. And so if Rojal was like spam outreaching, then I would know that he'll have like RS, Rojal Shrestha, or Shrest 1. He'll have like RS 2, RS 3. But like if he has just nothing here, then I would know that it's just him. Even like my profile too, you look over to here, it's just that raw name. It just expels a lot more like, hey, this is a legit account and this is not like some scam BS. So I'll really go change that right now. If you guys have any sort of numbers in there, really try to break it down just to your name, easy name, okay? And number 2, like this face profile aligns with these. It's also like profile alignedness that I would go for, which is basically like, if you really think about it, fundamentally, like what looks human? And here, like he looks human with his little soda cup right there. Like bro is, ooh, that looks good. Dole soda, nice. Yeah, but anyway, this really looks human, but I would say even this one, I think you guys know these components, but it's just that you're not doing it. And you need to know, I need to drill it into your brain of how important it is. Because I think you know how to do it. It's just, okay, I don't like really care to do it. Like I want to make sure that everybody goes and like freaking optimize that shit like right now afterwards, after this call, okay? If any of you guys have the courage to whip up your profile and want me to roast it for the sake of improvement, not like dissing it, but I'm going to be like, hey, here's this. Why don't you do this instead, right? So let me look at strays. So DEDIND. I have no clue what that means. I don't care. Info is what we love. Who are you speaking to here? Fundamentally, bro, your bio needs to speak to a specific person. And a specific person, so look at mine. I'm very specifically targeting growth operators because that's the people that I want to attract. All of you guys in here are growth operators. Guess what? It worked. Does that make sense? And so here, if Shrey wants to attract, if you say info is what we love, or do you think something like, I help only tattoo artists scale from 0 to 15 to 20K a month with, I don't know, with XYZ mechanism. I sort of have something like that will work a lot more. So if you already picked your niche, why don't you go all in on it? Because you know why this happens? I'll tell you like the thought process behind this. You guys don't change it and don't make it more niched in because you're not confident about your niche. Commit, even in your profile. Of course, you can change it in like 2 seconds, but I'm saying if you start writing it there, you're only going to outreach to that niche. And so then you really like shift your mind just to outreach that person. I would say, bro, there's not enough high status pictures of you, Magog. I would say this is the only decent one. I want to see your face. Like Instagram is here for people to connect. Where are you? Like, where are you, Shrey? And then you're in here saying you're grinding. Like this is what the beginners post. You get me? Like, do I, as a not beginner, have anything about grinding? No, it's how much I'm chilling. Of course I'm not chilling, but it's to establish that status delta. I'm still grinding every single day, but I'm not putting that there because this establishes that like, hey, I've like made it, which I've like made it to a certain extent, but I'm still freaking grinding. But like if you establish that like you are grinding, that means like it's like even, lower, right? So that's like another perspective on posting these sort of stories. So sophistication is basically how cognizant prospect is of the level of your sales process. So fundamentally, how aware are they that they are being sold? And so then less sophisticated. So if they're less sophisticated, they would say this and go, he's a growth partner. I've seen this pattern because humans learn. I've seen the pattern that when somebody with growth partner or growth operator or whatever use that in their bio, then they are trying to sell me. And last time when they're trying to sell me, they annoyed me. I won't respond to these humans no mo. This is more sophisticated. Versus less sophisticated, it's just what they've experienced. What is the rate that they've experienced? Sophisticated. Gosh, this mic is freaking drooping. Less sophisticated is growth operator, growth partner. I don't know. Huh? What is that? Curiosity equals into responds into either you close and do good or don't. And if you don't do good, then negative experience. And then they are pissed off. And then when they see growth partner again or growth operator, they're like, fuck this guy. I'm not going to respond because the last guy was a bitch. This is what I mean. This is the transition from less sophisticated to more sophisticated. Arrow. This is what I mean. Okay. And so basically when this happens, you need to go and say, And so you need a bio that hides the sales process to be able to appeal to somebody more sophisticated. And so what I would do here is less sophisticated. Sure, you could go for the growth partner. More sophisticated, I would just go for. Honestly, I've seen this one work well, helping X niche and like really niched in. So this is why I recommended to Shrey earlier, the tattoo niche, like making sure you put that in the bio. Because then they're like, ooh, I've never seen this before. Only tattoo creators. Interesting. And they're gonna respond to that. So like if I saw somebody in their bio who outreached to me saying, I'm an editor who only helps growth operator creators or growth operator coaches or whatever, I'll be like, so you only video edit for the growth operating space. Like you must be a very much expert in the growth operating space. Like, like I'm trying to buy into that, right? So you get what I mean? Like it'll even work on my ass. Another one I'll do is, honestly, bro, I like the Dubai, just like I'm a regular human, like Dubai, Proverbs, just like what Niche had. But to be completely honest, in the deeply studying of different bios, like I haven't gotten to that yet. I'm just explaining the concept of sophistication and how this ties to the bio situation, but I'm not the most Instagram expert in terms of the bio optimizing. So these are the levels. These are the levels of outreach that you have to understand. It's the first message that then goes into shown interest. This is when they actually respond. This is when you loom them. This is called loomed. And then you follow up again until they get Calendly. This is when you actually send them the Calendly. And then, sorry, there's one more. It's follow up. Then it's booked call. How much do you guys follow up? I'm curious. 6 to 7 times. No, not till they cuss at you. Till they freaking block you. Till they block you is what I need to hear. So I'll tell you like a quick story. I am here. I'm sitting on my couch and I'm just chilling. I open my Instagram phony thing and then I see on there a message thing. It is a growth operator who's outreaching to me. I am the creator. You right now, we're going to do a quick role play, okay? You guys are a creator and you get this. Okay, you have a brain. Your brain is not blocked. Growth operator outreaches to you or whatever. Ding, you get it. You see it. And the growth operator is basically saying, I'll help you make more money, whatever. I am a clothing brand creator because I think you guys all understand that niche. I'm a clothing brand creator. And I already make good money with my clothing brand. But in the back of my mind, I've had this thought. But I know that info will make me more money. I know it. With my audience, if I monetize them, I'll make billions. But right now the thing is, in the info space, like it's a little scummy. It's a little bad. So I don't want to join it because people think it's kind of bad. But the money. But the money. But the money. And like they look at your shit and they go to sleep. And then the creator's going to go sleep now. By the way, this is you, sorry. You're going to go to sleep now. You're the creator. You're going to sleep. You're the clothing brand creator. You check your phone, by the way, before you go to bed. And you have like, ding, 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 a bunch of Shopify notifications. Ding, 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 ding. And then they're going off and your launch did well that day. They're like, running ads, making money with the clothing brand. It's great. But I only make 10K revenue. And then after profits, I only make maybe like 3K a month. So it's still enough. It's still enough. And I'm over here in Vegas, and I see my friends making a lot more than me in the internet money space. So I'm like, the next day I wake up, okay? And now this is you. So you woke up the next day, you're the clothing brand creator. You're still getting some notifications on your phone, but then when these notifications happen, you're going like, the thing is, I have that thought from yesterday. I remember that growth operator who outreached to me. And you know what's very funny? I'll tell you this. These motherfuckers, I'm yelling at myself here, these creators, they have a little ego, okay? They have themselves, and this is you, by the way. So you have an ego. You have an ego. You have an ego too, I get it. You get it. But like these creators, they have even fatter egos. I'll tell you myself, after getting more clout, I had to kill my ego, for being a leader. But before I was a leader, there was a lot that I had to handle. I had this freaking ego of like, oh, I'm such a G. I have all this clout. I have all these people hitting me up. So it's like, this is great. This is great. I have ego. And so you hold this here, and you go, you know what? Maybe I'll respond to that growth operator if they respond to me. But like, I don't give a shit because my ego is big. So I'm not gonna go and outreach to them again because I don't feel the pain enough. I don't feel the pain enough. And so now this is where the world's this is reality 1 and reality 2. We're gonna go into 2 different portals, Doctor Strange portals. Okay? Reality 1 is where the growth operator followed up to you like a bajillion times. So growth operator follow up 2. Now you see it and the creator goes, okay, fine. I get it. And especially when the follow-ups are good. Like it's a good ass message that's sent. Some of them I'll show you that I'm actually seeing right now. Look at these guys. Yeah, I get a lot of voice notes. These are pretty solid too. I like the voice note outreach. I often listen to those because they're a lot more human. Oh, this is fire too, bro. This is genius. Someone wrote out an entire whiteboard thing for me. This is freaking genius. I was like, wow, that's legit right there. Yep. It was like a funny GIF or it was a funny meme. And it was like me following up. And it was like that sweating guy. And he's like trying to press 2 buttons. And it was like saying you. And it was saying respond or like ignore or some shit like that. I don't know. It was pretty solid. And so you follow up and the creator remembers. We'll go back to the story. And the creator remembers that, oh shoot, I actually want to make money with this. And they'll respond. Versus if they don't respond, then the creator forgets. Because they still have the ego and they never went back to respond to you or respond to the growth operator. So like, hopefully this really can tap into the creator's mind because this is really what skyrocketed for me, my outreach. The fact that I was a creator from the beginning and the growth operator as well. Honestly, guys, this is how you make money fast. What are your sort of doubts with this? Because I see a lot of you guys sort of mental masturbating with, oh my gosh, I need to prep this really big launch fast. But this is kind of taken from, I would say like how to like really just think from first principles and reverse engineering. Hey, how do I make somebody money fast? And I'll explain why this logically makes sense. Once again, going this over, day 1, close the creator. Day 2, and this is like after you go through this funnel, right? Okay. Day 1, close the creator. Day 2, post IG stories saying you launched, or you can have a specific copy, but honestly like a market research copy that we have in the founder files. This is it. Post this story, post this exact story with this copywriting, and then appointment set, because we have the entire appointment setting script here. And we revamped ours, so we're gonna have these revamped soon too. And then afterwards, close. This is just get on the sales calls. And our shit was good at this. He was able to dominate this because he was a closer before. And so you guys need to build these sales skill sets fast. But yeah, like, or you can just freaking copy exactly this script. And then this. Because this, bro, this is like reverse engineering how to make money fast. Here's why. Of the creator audience who like has no clue who they are, like they're not warm. There's some that like kind of like them, whatever, they're over here. And there's some here that, you know, are already a little bit whatever. And there's like some that are, this is called a 3%. I'll give you this mathematical framework. And like, this is factually true because this is a sort of statistical model that the studies on different info businesses did. Basically it goes, I think I talked about this last time, but unaware audience, problem aware, so solution aware, most aware, product aware. Don't worry, Umesh, you don't have to give this to me this time. I know it, product aware and most aware. This is usually 3%. This is what the graph looks like. It usually goes unaware. Yeah, it's a funnel too. And it's usually 3% at this yield. Basically with this, you want to see the cash money. This is like what actually makes it. I think a lot of you guys, when you approach this, you guys are almost afraid of success. You're afraid to make money, like subconsciously. And so if you approach this right away, instead of building all these systems, and you just start appointment setting right away, then you're able to cap that creme de la creme audience, 3%, and then sell, get product market fit proof, and then afterwards go ahead and attack these other ones with a more optimized launch. So Rojal went ahead and went about it like being able to dominate almost all of these guys, which Rojal did a great job there. But even hard shit here, he just took this tiny portion here first, and then he made the 3K already with the creator, and he was already able to get them results. And so I think this really resonates with Heron and Enda. I need you guys to do this immediately with that creator. Sort of launch this system, and I think you guys will get a lot of great results immediately there. Who else like just sign a creator? I think even, okay, but Roja already has that like specific launch system, so I wouldn't recommend that for Jaro right now. And yeah, I would say this is really one component that you guys need to immediately go and attack. And so hopefully this hit for you guys. I think this one's gonna hit more so like when you guys are at this stage, at that like just point where you sign the creator. I need you guys to push immediately with this to really get the results fast because I want to get you guys results immediately, really fast. The best and fastest way to get cash and fulfillment to hit the 1% of the audience, therefore become the 1% growth operator, to be able to follow up in this specific portion that we really see not happening and really perceiving your outreaching as a funnel that allows you to check that off the list. I'll see you guys from this Zoom. Peace. See ya.